Now, over the course of those first 120 days, again, we're in the puppy phase, but I don't want you to lose your power of discernment, okay? I want you to evaluate your new rep based on the following criteria. Number one, are they taking action? Again, you're going to be working with them to build their list. You're going to be working with them to help them do their first meetings. But during the course of those 120 days, are they starting to take action on their own as well? Are they starting to book meetings outside of just the meetings that you're doing for them? Are they starting to continue to add new names and numbers and contacts to their list? Are they getting proper structure? Whatever your compensation plan is, in order for them to build a profitable business, are they getting the proper structure? By getting the proper structure, that allows you to talk good about them, not only to their prospects, but also to other people in your team, and to build a buzz around the organization that they're building. It makes them, what we call in this business, someone who's edifiable, someone who you can point to as a proper example of how to build a business, both to your other teams and to the rest of the people on their team. Are they listening, and are they taking action on what it is that you're working together with? You work together with them to develop a plan that makes sense for both of you. And then once you develop that plan, you listen to what they say, and then you watch what they do. So if you have a plan in place and they're not following that plan, then in your mind you know they're not listening to what it is that you said and what it is that you guys have put together. Are they not confused? And have you created a lasting bond with them? Have you gone over and above, out of your way, to make sure that that person understands that you're there for them, to support them, to encourage them, to help them to maximize the opportunity that they have in front of them? And the final question is, are they willing to handle all aspects of leadership for their team? You know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, but when the good thing about network marketing is that there's people involved. And the bad thing about network marketing is that there's people involved. There are going to be disagreements in groups. There are going to be relationship issues in groups. There are going to be all kinds of negative situations that occur, just as well as you're going to have lots of positive situations. When you're this closely tied to this many people, and when you're this closely interacting with people, you're going to have lots of good things happen, and you're going to have lots of bad things happen. The key here is what you're looking for from your new rep is that person willing to not only handle all the positive and all the negative things that go on, but are they willing to not let those things affect their attitude and their ability to build their business? And these are the things that over the course of those first 120 days, you need to work to find out. Now, if the answer to all or any of those questions is no, either you have someone who's a positional leader, or they may be on their way to being an actual leader, but in any case, you cannot turn leadership of that particular group over to that person just quite yet, until you can answer yes to all of those questions. So what you have to do is you continue working down in depth in that group until you identify someone who's willing to do all of those things, who meets all of those criteria. And that person is your leader. Now, your other person who you personally sponsored, that person could grow into that. But again, in looking to identify how to do this and hit your goals in your time frame, that's not your actual leader for that particular group. Now, on the flip side of that, if the answer to all of those questions is yes, then you have identified someone who is an actual leader. You can begin to edify this person as that leader and then move on to phase 2 with them. Now, what's phase 2? This is everything that happens after 120 days. Okay? Now that you've established that leader or those other leaders, what we're going to do is we're going to use a principle called indirect pressure to help them continue to grow. Okay? Over the course of time, you now become less involved in the physical aspect of helping your rep build a team, and focus much more on being the bulletproof attitude example of leadership for that group. Just letting your people know and living the example that everything's going to be all right. No matter how fast or slow they grow, it doesn't matter. That you're still in business with them, you still respect and support them, and are going to continue to be there for them. And really just the example of, if we just keep doing the things that we've done right to get to this point, everything's going to work out fine. You want them to know that there's nothing they can bring to you, there's nothing they can say that's going to rattle your cage, that's going to make you think any less of them. Because the bottom line is, we're all in this together. So let's talk for a quick second about direct versus indirect pressure. Okay? Now, direct pressure is pushing someone in a direction they may not want or be ready to go. And there's a couple of key examples that I can give you of that. If you're calling your reps to ask them why their volume isn't at a certain point during the week, that's direct pressure. If you're calling your reps to ask them why they haven't hit a goal that they set, that's direct pressure. If you're calling your reps, to find out how many exposures they had during the week, and to find out if they didn't hit their number, well, why didn't you? And really kind of, if at any point in time you feel like you're having a conversation where you're being someone's boss, that's direct pressure. Okay, so that's really kind of the easiest way to talk about that. Now, indirect pressure is creating a pull inside of someone that they want to be where you are. Now, the first part of indirect pressure we've already covered, which is building that relationship. When you build that relationship will hopefully begin to become a friendship. When you're friends with someone, when someone's a friend, when it's not just a business partner relationship, but when you have an actual relationship outside of the business perspective where you're actually a friend with that person, you want to be with your friend. You want to spend time with your friend. You want to, if your friend is qualifying for things, you want to qualify for things. So, again, how do we accomplish this? Well, we've covered step one, which was building the relationship. Now, step two is that we continue to develop personal business success. We continue to sponsor people. We continue to advance through the ranks of our company, and by developing other leaders in the same way who achieve success as fast or faster than your other leaders. You want to create healthy competition. We all know that there's a level of unhealthy competition where people backstab each other, where people jockey for position and things of that nature. And that's not the competition that we're looking to create here. What we're looking to create is a healthy competition where we all inspire each other to do better so that we all win. And that's the type of competition that we want to foster. And so by continuing to advance in rank personally and in developing other leaders, we can begin to accomplish this. Now let's take a case study here. Every company that I know of has some type of company paid incentive trip, a cruise, a vacation, something. Some type of event. Now, at some point in time in your business, hopefully sooner than later, you will begin to qualify for the incentive trips that your company has. And in fact, I encourage and recommend you that every time your company has a qualifier, you qualify for it. And you try to get as many people on your team qualified for it as possible. And here's the reason why. Obviously, you want to be able to take a vacation for yourself, and you want to be able to, show your spouse or your family that your business is working, that you are experiencing success. It's something that you can leverage to talk to your prospects about, but it's also something that you can use to develop and grow your team. If you've been doing a great job of building relationships, if you've been doing a great job of building friendships with the people in your team, when you qualify for a trip that they don't qualify for, that's going to eat the inside of them and burn them and build that burning desire inside of them to continue to advance. You don't get people on your team to advance because you push them into doing things that they're not ready to do. You get people on your team to grow and advance by pulling them along as you continue to progress forward, as you continue to build a strong team. And what you do is when you qualify for those trips and other leaders of your team are there, you create a memory and you create a moment, and you let the other people on your team know how much you want them there and how much you know that they could be there and that they have all the talent and ability in the world to make it happen, to get to that next incentive trip, to get to that next qualifier, to get to that next thing, and let them know that they can do it and that you want them there, but that you clearly recognize that they're not there this time. That's how you build leadership. Because that next qualifier, I guarantee you, if you've done a great job of building that strong relationship with the people in your team, they'll be there for that qualifier. And here's just a little bit on kind of my business building philosophy 101, okay? You want to eliminate confusion from your business at every turn. Now, there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of techniques, a lot of different methods of building a business. And anyone who joins my team personally, they're welcome to use any of those techniques that they want. But at the end of the day, I'm the only person who's willing to personally mentor them on a regular basis. And so if they're going to plug into my team and what we're doing, we're going to have a set, orderly way of doing things so that we all know no one has to think about what's next. That confusion is what causes breakdowns in communication, it's what causes frustration, and it's what stops teams from growing. So someone who gets sponsored by me on my team, we don't ever have to worry about the confusion of, well, what do I do next? Because we've got a plan. We have a playbook. I'm the head coach calling the play, and that's the play that we're going to run. Now, those plays change based on groups. Some people, based on their budget, they have access to other marketing techniques that we can use to help them. Other people come in with lesser budget and their marketing plan is kind of limited. We can work with them to develop a plan that's going to work for them, but at the end of the day, once we set in motion that, okay, this is the play that we're running, then that's the play that we're running. And we'll make it work because we're going to be unified in our thought process, in our method of attacking it, and we're going to be on the same page the entire time so no one's confused, everyone can be productive and do what it is that they need to do.